here's Ray. And make sure on your settings that you don't have your speakers on for both the Hangout and the Blog Talk Radio.
Which we absolutely do. So give me one.
Okay. So Ray is in the Hangout. He is on the radio. Oh my, things are working. I love it when a plan comes together.
Yes, indeed.
So I see you on the Hangout.
That is indeed me on the Hangout.
Okay. So what's on the show today, Ray?
Well, today we're going to talk a little bit about how to start a local marketing campaign very, very quickly and be able to start getting leads for people almost overnight.
And who's the show brought to you by today?
Today's show is made possible by freevideoeditor.co. If you've been looking for a video editor that doesn't suck, like let's say a certain movie maker by somebody named after a part of your house, well, then you should check out freevideoeditor.co. It's got all sorts of high-end editing tools. You can overlay graphics. You can do text. You can do 3-point editing. You can do 4K editing. You can do all sorts of great stuff. And we've got a lot of great goodies that go along with it if you check it out right now at freevideoeditor.co. Mac, Windows, PC, and Linux.
Okay, well, that sounds great. Well, let's get going here.
He's Ray, the video guy. Yeah, Ray, the video guy. The skill is where it's at. Even if it's a little fast, he's filled with video.
And for those of you on the Hangout, we're playing the jingle now.
Tricks to make your marketing so sick. He's Ray, the video guy. Yeah, Ray, the video guy.
It's the radio show about video marketing madness with Ray the Video Guy, and I'm Steve Sleeper. If you got a question for Ray the Video Guy, go to raythevideoguy.com/ask. Leave your question. If Ray answers it, you'll win all kinds of great video marketing stuff. And we've got a question coming up at the end of the show, right?
Yes, we do.
Okay, I didn't get a chance to edit it, so hopefully everything's okay with it. It's been one of those days, hasn't it?
It's Christmas time. It's Star Wars time. Who cares?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Well, hey, we got the show on the air, and hopefully I didn't look like too much of a buffoon, although that's easy for me to do. I'll tell you, it's just a piece of cake. Now, I need to ask you, did you have somebody else coming on the program today?
Oh, I talked to somebody about some future stuff, but we'll get somebody on shortly that
okay, because we got somebody on, we got somebody on hold. That's why I was asking.
Oh, well, I did tell people to call in with their questions. So person on hold, just hang out there for a couple of minutes and we will get to you. That'll be great.
And if you're on the Hangout, of course, we won't be able to put them on. So we'll just tell you the gist of it. How's that?
Oh, yes. We will just repeat that for the Hangout. So
now that's I'm on the Hangout. Of course, we simulcast the program. We're on Blog Talk Radio. And then also we simulcast in a Hangout. Now what color shirt are you wearing there? Is that teal?
That is a teal shirt, indeed. I think that's the name of the color.
It's a good color for you.
Why, thank you.
You're welcome. I'm wearing gray. That's a good color for me.
I call it bluish gray or bluish green rather.
Bluish green. All right.
I think the women call it teal.
Do they? Yeah, that's right. Oh, so I'm a woman.
Probably.
Okay. And if you're on the Hangout, you'll notice I got a nifty new sign there too.
Yes, I see that. And speaking of that, I don't know if you saw my Facebook post the other day, but I had to go out and find an Albert Einstein wig and a giant white mustache and whatnot. And I was heading to Party City. Thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, I was heading to Party City, and I drove into the wrong parking lot, and they had a Hobby Lobby. Now, I don't know if you ever been. Have you ever been into Hobby Lobby?
Yeah.
It's not what it sounds like. I expected I expected it to have, games and puzzles and maybe costumes. And that's why I said, oh, I'll just run in here. Maybe they'll have it. Well, that's not what it is at all. I don't know. But I posted on there, I almost bought gigantic metal letters, but they didn't have the letter A. And I was actually kind of like your sign behind your head there. I was going to buy 4 giant metal letters, E, an A, an R, and an N, but they didn't have the A, so they lost out.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I mean, you got to have an A. Here, I'm going to plug in my headphones here.
How can you How can you sell gigantic letters made of metal if you don't have the letter A? It doesn't make any sense.
Well, I don't think you can, because they didn't sell anything to you.
They did not. They lost out big time. I'm taking my giant metal letter buying to another location. That's it.
Yeah, that's right.
And I don't want to get too far off the beaten path here, but they really should call that place the Gigantic Letter Store, because I've never been in a place where they had so many gigantic letters. They had the ones that I were looking at were made of tin. They're kind of like a rusty tin. And then they had ones that were made of wood. And then they had ones that were smaller ones that were made of metal. Then they have even bigger ones made of metal with lights in them. And then on the back wall of the store, they had gigantic letters that were, like practically the Hollywood sign letters. I mean, it was ridiculous.
Wow.
Do people buy gigantic letters in such large numbers that they have to have this many? I didn't understand it.
Well, I've never thought of that before, but I'm thinking about buying some gigantic letters, put them on the front of the house just to annoy the neighbors.
That would be a good thing. I agree. I agree wholeheartedly with that idea.
Yeah, come up with just some weird word. I know it could be a sentence like, got any gum? Got any gum? Question mark. And just put it on the front of the house.
Put it right on the roof. Like Christmas.
There you go. There you go.
Well, anyway, so that's my gigantic letter story, and we won't bore people too much with that, but I just thought it was funny that they had so many varieties of giant letters and no letter A.
I've always wanted a radio tower in my backyard, and my wife won't go for it. I wanted to put up like just a 100-foot tower, self-supporting, and then I could put gigantic letters on it.
I had a neighbor that actually, not a neighbor, a friend where I grew up, who had one in his backyard. It wasn't his. It was actually a government gigantic radio tower right in the back of his house, and it was cordoned off by a big fence.
Cool.
So
I had a pirate station when I was a kid. Arr!
Nice.
And I wore
enough pirates to listen? I don't know.
Arr! When I broadcasted, I wore Argyle socks. Arr.
You only played the Clash. That was the only band you played.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it was kind of cool. A little AM. I think it broadcasted on 1500. It was up at the end of the dial that nobody else was using, and it had a copper wire that ran to the tree in the back, and it went. Let's see, what was that? 2 blocks east and west, and about 10 blocks north and south.
And to think now we can broadcast all across the world.
Hi, everybody.
And I'm sure we have listeners right now all across the world. I know that we get listeners from Singapore and from Australia. So we get them from all over the place. And so not surprising, but amazing, isn't it? I mean, all that time back then, you had to buy a little transmitter and you could transmit to your next door neighbor, and that was about it. And now anybody could broadcast to the entire planet in a variety of mediums, including having your own TV station if you wanted. Unbelievable.
Like what's his face in Nova Scotia? What's that guy's name that does the weather? Frankie McDonald. Frankie McDonald. He's autistic.
Yes, I know Frankie McDonald.
Yeah, he yells the forecast. Frankie McDonald, my own TV station. That's how he starts everything.
Nice. Yes, if you haven't seen Frankie, you got to check him out. He's quite a wonder on the old YouTubes. Without a doubt.
I just hope that he's monetizing his videos, because he gets a lot of views. He's fun to watch.
He certainly does. He gets a lot of attention. So,
he
but
sure
anyway,
does.
Speaking of attention, we need to get into today's topic so that we're not keeping people here too long today and holding them off on this great information that we're going to share with them on local video marketing.
And Ray today's going to talk about how to use how to use videos to generate leads for local businesses.
But not only how to do that, but how to do it fast.
Fast. Well, and if you've got a question for Ray,
in a day.
Wow.
Imagine walking into your local plumber and being able to give him a lead by the next day from scratch. That's the type of speed we're talking about here.
Well, and you can call in with your questions. Now, we've already got somebody on hold, so stay on hold there, caller. 818-369-1423 is the phone number. And without further ado, because we've been doing a lot of ado today, let's turn it over to Ray, the video guy.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about local marketing. Now, for those of you who may not be familiar with what we're talking about here, we're talking about getting leads for local businesses, plumbers, doctors, lawyers, whatever the local business is, and being able to drive leads and calls to them very quickly so that they can start making money off of your services. And of course, that makes them want to pay you to do those services. And the way we're going to do that, and I made a video about this in this past week because I did a little experiment, and the experiment went a little bit like this. A guy that actually grew up in Rhode Island, believe it or not, he came to me with a product that he has, and I was talking to him, and I found out he was from Rhode Island, and that was kind of exciting, as I don't run into a lot of people that are from there. And he created some local videos in the roofer, the plumber, and the chiropractor niche. And basically anybody who picked up this little package got 3 videos in each niche. And if you did the upsell, you got 6 videos in each niche. And so what I decided to do was, as part of that promotion, was to show people how to take those videos and very quickly get them up, running, and generating leads. And I'm going to go through the exact steps of how I did this. And you don't have to buy his product in order to do this. That just happens to be the videos that I used. You can make your own videos. You can, of course, go to our instant spokesperson videos, which we have many of those going on. We've got, if you want to see those, you can go to instantspokesperson.co/special11 to see our special 12 rather. You can go to special 11 as well. We'll go to special 12, and that one's got our latest pre-made videos with more coming shortly.
Give me that again. Well, instant spokesperson.
Instantspokesperson.co/special 12.
Special 12.
And that'll get you a package of some of our pre-made local videos that we have available. We've got well over 100 different niches now, believe it or not.
Wow, cool. And I dearly love those videos. I use them for attorneys all the time.
Beautiful. And we can't wait to have you chime in on your opinions on this too, Steve, because I think this is right up your alley. So here's what we're going to do, or here's what we did. In this case, we took one of these videos, and these are by Matt Boland, by the way. Shout out to Matt in case he's listening there. And what we did was we took one of these videos, and it happened to be for water heaters. And I took the water heater video and I uploaded it to YouTube as is, did not modify it at all. And that's kind of one of the beauties about this speed test that we're talking about, is for this particular deal, I was showing you how to do this without having to go into a video editor first, without having to change the ending and add your phone number and re-export the video. Literally taking this video out of the box, downloading it from him, uploading it to YouTube. And then what we do is we go into the YouTube annotations area. Now, what a lot of people don't realize is that inside the annotations area, there's quite a few options. Now, many people are familiar with the little black bar with the text in it, where you can say, hey, click here, that kind of a thing. And those work great. A lot of people that have dealt with my stuff, they're familiar with the highlight, which puts the little box around an item on the screen and makes that into a link. But the one that we're going to use here is called title. And a lot of people don't even realize that this exists. So what we do is we use the title annotation. And at the end of these videos, because whether it's my videos or Matt's videos or anybody else who makes them, Peter Beattie makes some. So he's got some of these types of videos. Nick Mancuso, or Nick Mann, as many people know him. Any of these, at the end, they usually say something along the lines of, so call us now or contact us now, and they have an empty space. So when you upload the video, go to annotations in YouTube, use the title annotation and put in the phone number. And so that way you don't have to edit the videos beforehand at all. You can just do this right in the annotations. Now, there are some caveats to this. One, it's not going to work on a mobile phone. So we're talking about desktop leads here. So that's number one. That's one thing you got to consider. And the other thing is, even on the desktop, some people do turn off all annotations, so they won't see this. However, the majority of people on the desktop are going to see this, and it's going to work fine. And you'll see that if you try this. Now, the next thing you can do with this is you want to put a more traditional annotation on there. You can use a spotlight, and that's what I use. I use the spotlight, and I put click here to call us now, or click here to learn more, something of that nature, and put that on the screen above the phone number. And then I use the highlight area and drag it out over the whole phone number and as much as I can on the page. And that way, when people are watching, they can click on that. Now, if you know how to use click to call functions on your website, you can actually have that phone number automatically click to call. Now, again, you're on the desktop, so they'd have to have Skype connected in order for that to work properly, but you can do that as well. But the idea here is that you're turning that end screen into a clickable link. Now, you can also do this in the body of the video as well. You could make a banner across the bottom using the annotations and putting, click here to call us now, or click here to get more information. And then what you're going to do is, once you have that all set up, you're just going to save that video with the annotations and the phone number. Highly recommend. Now, in my training, I didn't show this. I mentioned it, but I didn't show it just because, we were training more on the other stuff. But make sure that you make a nice YouTube thumbnail. And in the thumbnail, you may want to put the phone number. You may want to put, call us now, that sort of stuff. Make it compelling, but give them a reason to call. But put the phone number in the annotation, or in the thumbnail, because it's going to get people to dial right off the bat. Call to action. Yeah, absolutely. So anytime you can have a call to action, that's a great thing. So now, of course, make sure you filled out your video. Put your description so that you can get good SEO out of it. Make sure the phone number is in the description right at the top. Make sure a clickable link is back to your video is there. And then once you have all of this, in many places, believe it or not, that video is probably going to rank fairly well already, just because you did a decent title, a decent description, and do all your good stuff there. You're probably going to rank fairly well. You can do all of your normal SEO stuff, and anywhere from a day to a month later, you'll probably get to the top of the search engines, and you'll probably get some phone calls. But of course, we want to get you phone calls today. So who cares if you're going to rank a month from now, right? Doesn't matter, because we want to get phone calls today or tomorrow. And so here's how we're going to do that. Once you have your video up there, you've got your annotations and your calls to action. People are able to click back to your website. They've got your phone number. The phone number is in the thumbnail. Now what we need to do is we need to get traffic to this video, and it has to be traffic that matters. So in other words, it doesn't matter if we get 1 million views tomorrow if they're all from Argentina, if you're in Houston, Texas, right? Right. Guess what? They're not going to call you. You're not going to go to Argentina to fix their plumbing. So what we have to do here is we have to get traffic from, if we're in Dallas, or we're in Houston, or we're in Salt Lake City, or we're in Chicago, we've got to get traffic from that city, from that area. And the way that we're going to do that is with YouTube ads. And I know we've talked a lot about YouTube ads lately, and we should, because it's a very, very powerful and inexpensive tool. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to go back to your video manager inside of YouTube, and you're going to go over to your video, and you're going to click that little drop-down button that's next to your video. It says Edit, and then there's a little drop-down. Click on that, and just down towards the bottom of the list of items, there's one called Promote. And you're just going to hit that Promote button, and that Promote button is going to automatically take you over to a promotional video or video promotion page. You're going to put in some information. You're going to sign into AdWords. If you don't have an AdWords account, you'll have to create one. It only takes a few minutes. Not hard to do. But you're going to click on that, and they're going to ask you a couple of questions. What's your budget? My recommendation is you probably want to do maybe $5 a day. Now, I'll be completely honest with you. In most places, $5 a day is not even going to get spent. You can't spend $5 a day if you're targeting the local area. It's just not going to happen. Right. Now, if you think about, in our case, we did water heaters. Okay. Now I'm in a city where they said on YouTube, they said the potential reach was 230,000 people. In reality, I don't think it's quite that much. Our town, I think, has, you know, like 50,000 people or so, maybe a little bit higher. But in the general area, they're saying 250,000 potentially would see it. I don't think it's quite that high. I think they're exaggerating a little bit there, but that's okay. But you got to think about this. If you've got 50,000 people in your town, how many of them happen to need a water heater every single day? You know, chances are there's going to be days where nobody needs a water heater. Other days where 2 people might, but you're never going to need, there's never going to be 100 people that need a water heater on a particular day. It's just, you know, that's not going to be the case in an area with 50,000 people. But here's the cool thing. And by the way, I should mention that's what we chose to upload was a water heater video. And I specifically chose that because it's not a mass need product all the time. And so what we did was we uploaded the video like that. We did the promotion. We ran a $5 per day campaign, and we've had it running for 3 days now. This is the 3rd day that it's been running full time. And in those 3 days, we've spent about $5. That's it. So it took 3 days to make $5. So you figure if you spread that out over a month, you're talking about $50. Not a lot of money. So here's the cool thing. You spend that $50 in that month. If you only got 1 phone call, you would still profit by at least 10 times, because 1 water heater installation is going to be at bare minimum for the cheapest, crappiest water heater in the world is probably going to be a bare minimum of $500 charge. Chances are it's going to be more. I think when I had to do mine in back in Utah, I think it cost about $900 for the water heater and the installation. So you imagine that if you get 1 phone call, that person would make $900, assuming they could close the lead, which they should. So that's a great thing. So the question is, with my $5 over 3 days, what kind of traffic did we generate? Did we generate any phone calls? And the answer is yes, we generated 2. So in the first 3 days, we generated 2 phone calls. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot, but when you figure a high-ticket item on something that's not a mass need product all the time, that's really good. And if we break that out, we could assume that, you know, that would turn into 20 leads a month mathematically. But let's cut that down. Let's say it's only 10 leads a month. That's still a huge bargain for the local business. If you're spending $50 for ads and you're bringing in 10 new leads at $500 a piece or $1,000 a piece, you know, you're talking huge profits off of that. And again, we generated these 2 leads in the first 3 days. And so that's a big, big deal, because guess what? These guys, now here's the caveat to that. Right now, I don't have those leads going anywhere. So I was testing this to, you know, as an experiment to show that you can get leads. Unfortunately, I don't have a water heater company yet to send these leads to, so the phone calls were going nowhere. But the idea was to show that we could generate the phone calls, and we did it in just a couple of days. The first phone call came on day 1. The second phone call came somewhere between day 2 and day 3. I didn't really pay that much attention to when it came, but we did get the 2 phone calls from that. And of course, we got video views, which is going to help it rank better. And
did you use a Twillio? I'm jumping ahead. Forgive me. Did you use a Twillio number?
Yes. As a matter of fact, I did. I should probably mention that. Yes. We used a site called Twillio to generate a custom phone number for this video, or for water heaters and plumbers in general, because we can have multiple videos running to this number. So what we do is you go to Twillio.com, you put in your area code, and you can buy a telephone number for $1. So for $1, you get a full telephone number. And then what you can do is you can put that number into your videos. And when people decide to pay you money for those leads, you can actually have those phone calls automatically go to somebody else's number. So they call the number that you created on Twillio. It automatically goes to whoever you tell that number to go to. They answer the phone, they make the money. And you can track the whole thing. So,
and what I do before I have it forwarded to somebody else's number, the Twillio number, I forward it to a Google phone, just so I can have a voicemail answering it.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't bother to do that step just because I was not really looking to generate the leads. I was more looking to show that the leads were possible, but I really should do that because clearly it is getting leads, and you know, I might as well get the most out of my $5, right? So
yeah, exactly.
So we'll probably look for a company to do that. But here's the cool thing. In doing what I did, now if I go to, you know, Joe's Plumbers and say, hey, Joe, look, we set this up. It's already getting phone calls. They're not going anywhere. And the cool thing is with Twillio, it tells you who called. So you'll see the number that called you, which means that when I go to Joe, I can even say, oh, by the way, here's the people that called. You may want to call them back. Now, at that point, might be too late, but you can show that you're getting real phone calls from real people and that you can, you know, you can monetize that right away. But again, the big thing here is that unlike with just ranking videos, you get to get the leads immediately. And I don't want anybody to think that I'm saying don't rank your videos. Absolutely rank your videos. Very, very important. Do everything you can to rank them. But this is a cheap way to get traffic very, very quickly. And when we create the ads for this, we target just our area. And there's a lot of different things you can do there. I highly recommend that you talk to somebody like Justin Sardi and really learn the YouTube ad stuff. But when you create a video, you upload it, you promote it to your area, you can have it show up on anything people are watching in your area. So whether they're watching a movie trailer or they're searching for a plumber, they'll see your video and they'll be able to take action from that. So, and should we take the caller, see who that is?
Yeah. Hold. Let me get him on the line. Okay, caller, you're on live. What's your question for Ray, the video guy? Hello.
Hello. Hey,
oh yeah, there. Yeah, I can hear you. Hey.
Actually, I actually didn't have a question. I was just calling in because I could flip through the link that you had in the email you sent me.
Uh-oh.
Listening to that, I do have a question now.
Sure.
You think that to get your phone number, how do you actually keep track of those calls?
Yeah.
And can you record those calls through Twillio?
And,
Okay.
and let me just repeat this for the folks watching on the Hangout. If you have a Twillio number, how do you keep track of those calls, and can you record the calls? Okay, go ahead, Ray.
Yeah, here's the thing about that. Inside of Twillio, when you create your number, it actually creates a little page for you for that particular number, and you can see who called, when they called, how many times they called. It shows you what day they called, and same goes for texts. Now, as far as I know, there's no capacity for recording the phone calls. Steve, you use Twillio in a more advanced way, I think, than I do. Do you know if there is? I don't believe there is in Twillio.
I have a WordPress plugin
we can't hear you, Steve. You're
WP
silent.
Call Track. And without getting into a lot of technical details, what you're able to do is grab an API out of there and put it into Twillio. And then it's going to run it through that WP Call Track, and what it's going to do is forward the call on to whomever you want to forward it on to, and it will record the call if you want it to. And it's real easy to use. Now, this is assuming I've got caller. I've got what's your name? I'm sorry, I just want to call you caller. Glenda. Okay. I'm Steve. He's Ray. Yeah. Hey. But we're on with Glenda for those who are watching on the Hangout. I'm not a website guy at all, and I can use WordPress and use the plugins. So that's a pretty good solution I found.
Now, just so you know, Steve, we lost a portion of that at the beginning. So what was it you were using?
WP Call Track.
Ah, beautiful. Okay. And I know that aside from Twillio, which I just happen to use because it's very easy to generate a number, you can use a system like CallFire, which will also do the same types of stuff, and that will allow you to record phone calls and is really meant for that kind of tracking. But in Twillio itself, you can track the phone calls. You can also read any texts that people send through those numbers, but you will need what was the name of it, Steve?
WP Call Track WordPress plugin.
WP Call Track WordPress plugin. And that will help you to do that. So that's beautiful. I love that. That's great. All right.
Okay.
You too.
Yeah.
Thanks, Glenda.
Same to you. And we'll just put you on hold so you can listen to the show. All righty. Okay. Well, that was a good question. I'm glad she asked it.
It is. And you know, like I said, if you're really getting into this, and here's my stance on it, I like to keep things simple, just because I don't want to do all the paperwork. But I know there are other people that are far more into this kind of thing, and you know, I think Mike would be one of them who's very much into the details of this stuff. For me, I want to get a Twillio number. I want to forward it to them and just say, pay me X a month to get all the phone calls. But if you want to get that intricate, you know, you can use something like CallFire. You can use the WP call tracker and things like that. And you can really get a great idea of exactly what people are doing when they call, how many calls, when they call. You know, for me, I like to keep it simple. I just don't want to deal with all the paperwork. So I just keep it simple. But I know a lot of people would like to go the opposite direction with that. So.
And you're kind of cutting in and out too, Ray. I guess it's both of us.
Wow, that's kind of odd. It's a weird technical day here. Must be Christmas.
We're just having one of those days with technical stuff. So anyhow, and if you do have any questions for Ray, the video guy, on using online videos to generate leads for local businesses, 818-369-1423 is the number to call in. I can talk a little bit about what I do if you'd like.
I would love to hear what you do, because you do it a lot more than I do these days.
Yeah,
and you do it as a one-man band, whereas even when I was doing it a lot, I had other people doing a lot of that tech stuff behind the scenes. So
yeah, I pretty much do it all myself. If I get way more business than what I've got, I would bring somebody else in. But what I do is I rank for attorneys, and I go after attorneys nationwide. And what I'll do is take their videos, and then I also use all the PLR videos that I've got, which is probably 7 or 8 of them that I bought over time. And in front of the video, I will put a little slide or graphic that says the keywords. So let's look at what keyword. Brain injury lawyer, Omaha, Nebraska. Call 402-555-1212, and then it says here's more information from ABC lawyer, and then I put in a PLR video or their video. If they've got a ton of videos, then I really don't have to use PLR. If they don't, then we kind of want to mix it up just a little bit, and then I rank it, and the terms that I use are and city and state would be on the end of each one of these: brain injury lawyer, 18-wheeler accident lawyer, car accident lawyer, dog bite lawyer, slip and fall lawyer, and workers' comp lawyer. And I not only rank it for the market name itself, let's use Omaha as an example, Omaha, Nebraska, but suburbs and surrounding communities as well. So Ralston, Nebraska, Springfield, Nebraska, Papillion, Nebraska, La Vista, Nebraska, Council Bluffs, Iowa, et al. And Omaha is not a huge market. It's 750,000 people, but we still have quite a few suburbs. So the bigger the market, the more suburbs you can pull. But even smaller markets are going to have those suburbs. And I find that in non-competitive areas, Jackson, Mississippi, Omaha, Nebraska, I'm ranking 75% of my videos on page 1. In competitive areas like Boston, where you're from, Ray, your old stomping. Well, you're from Providence, but close enough. I'm ranking. Yeah, I'm ranking about 50% on page 1. And so then, and I'm charging a reasonable fee. I'm making money on it. And these videos stay on page 1, and they get some calls. Now, one case is worth $100,000. So the attorneys are willing to spend some money on that. And it's not a lot of money. Honestly, it's $27 a keyword set with a $100 setup. And it works out pretty well. And the thing I like about personal injury lawyers is, they're pretty easy to get along with. B, they recognize the value of online video. And it's a way to get their message across and show that they're honest, heart of servant type people. And C, one case can be worth $100,000. So it's a good marketplace.
Yeah, we love lawyers too. I mean, I've always done bankruptcy lawyers, but we've also done DUI, we've done divorce lawyers, and we've done personal injury as well. So any of those types of fields are pretty good because they're high ticket, just like the water heaters. It's a nice high ticket item right off the bat.
Right, exactly. So yeah, that's what I do. But and I make fairly good money off of it. I only want so many. I'd like to do about 5 at a time. But if I suddenly had 15, I'd just bring somebody in to help me out, and I would use somebody local, and I just split it with them. You know what I'm saying? Because then they've got to do the production. They've got to have a decent voice. It's got to be uploaded in America, that type of thing.
Right. Well, that's good. That's really good to hear. I like hearing that kind of stuff just because, like I said, I don't typically do as much as I did since I moved, mostly because I just don't have the support system here that I did there, where other people were doing a lot of the other things. So it's much more of a pain in the neck, although we're starting to move in that direction. I've got a couple of guys that I've been talking with that may start to handle some of the sales parts of it and some of the tracking and whatnot, so I can do just the magic parts, and then we'll start getting back into that a little bit. But I still have some of the local clients that I work with, but just not in the volume that I used to, and I haven't really tried, which is it's different. It's strange to not have that all the time. So.
Yeah, and I'm not so much just dealing in the Omaha community. Just FYI, I'm also going after a nationwide clientele. But one of the things I could do is water heaters and go after the biggest plumbing company here in Omaha and say, you want these leads, they'll take them.
Yeah, it's a great field. Again, not something that's going to get you 20 people a day, but probably a handful a week are probably searching for that. And that's kind of the numbers that we've seen is, 2 and 3 days. So you figure if that pans out, you're going to get 10 to 20 leads a month off of that maybe. And that's pretty good.
And the attorneys, if they get a couple a year, the personal injury attorneys, it's $100,000, but water heaters, a couple a week. What'd you say a water heater installation's worth?
Yep, absolutely. And I know like in the bankruptcy field,
how much is a water heater sell?
I think if you go to like Lowe's and buy one, it's like $400 to $700 just for the product. So
yeah,
it's up there. Yeah. But and I could be wrong. It might be a little bit lower than that. But with the installation and everything, it gets up there because it's a pretty good installation and haul away and all that kind of stuff. So it's not an easy job to say the least. So there you go. Okay. That's local marketing right there. How to do it quickly. And hopefully that helps because like I said, literally, you could put up a video today and get leads tomorrow using this. Is it always going to work? Maybe not. It depends on the size of your city and what niche you go after, but you could start to generate leads. And believe me, once you have leads, nobody is going to tell you no. If you walk in saying, hey, I'll shoot a video for you, they may say no. If you walk in and say, hey, I've got leads and somebody needs to fulfill them, they're probably going to go after that right away. That's not going to be an issue for them. So it's a great way to quickly start to work with a local business because that's what they want. At the end of the day, they want leads. You've got them. They'll take them.
Excellent. Well, hey, let's do, you want to do Ask Ray?
You cut out again there, Steve.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you want to do Ask Ray? Can you hear me?
I could hear you say, do you want to do? And then it cut out again. I'm assuming you're going to say Ask Ray.
Ask Ray. Let's do Ask Ray. Okay, hold on. Let's do Ask Ray the video guy. If I can just get this thing to work. Wow, it's not working.
It's like a practical nightmare.
Oh, here we go. Oh.
Channel just for cosmetic dentists, and then put videos from different local cosmetic dentists. Say you'd have one from Houston, one from Philly, one from New York, one from Seattle, all on the same channel to try to build authority for cosmetic dentistry? Or is it safer to have each dentist have its own separate channel? So a cosmetic dentist Houston and have a channel for them. Generally, we'd only have 1 or 2 videos for each dentist. So it's kind of the question. Is it safe to have all different cities on one cosmetic dentistry channel? Thanks. Hope to hear back from you.
All right. The question is, go ahead and repeat the question for our Hangout viewers, Ray.
Yeah, the question basically is, if you're going to work in a niche, should you create a new channel for every business, or should you have, in this case, he mentioned a cosmetic dentistry channel on YouTube with, you know, one person from Houston, one person from Chicago, one person from New York, that kind of a thing. And the other option for that would it be better to have a local channel? So, you know, a best businesses in Houston, and then have, you know, one person in each of those categories. So one dentist, one doctor, one lawyer, etc. The reality is there's no right answer to that question. You can do it any way you want, and we've done it in all 3 ways. And what it depends on is a few things. For instance, you mentioned that you've only got, let's say, 2 videos per company. To me, that's pretty thin content for an entire channel. So you may want to go with either a city channel that has a lot of different variety of things like a directory, or do a niche channel where you've got the different cities. I think those would be a better option for you in that particular case, just because you have only 2 videos. Now, here's the other part of this. Why not do both? Nothing says you can't have a channel for that business and a directory channel as well. And now you're adding double the value. And the cool thing is, if you're going to do, you know, an all cosmetic dentistry channel with businesses from across the country, that gives you an opportunity to also do some content marketing with that and send people to that channel to find somebody in their local area. So now you're providing even more value for that particular customer in that city, because they're coming to that channel in general to, you know, get some cosmetic dentistry tips, you know, how to prepare or how to find a cosmetic dentistry, how to prepare for cosmetic dentistry, things like that. Or, you know, what can a cosmetic dentist do? And these are all general things. And then if they're on your channel, then they can see, oh, well, who's this guy in Houston? Oh, John Smith. Okay, we'll call John Smith. So there's a lot of things you can do if you go that route. It's going to give you a strong channel. It's going to help you to rank better, all that kind of fun stuff. But at the same time, there's also egos involved, and the company may want their own channel. They may not want to be with other people. So you have to weigh that out as well. But my suggestion is, why not do both? Some people will scream and yell about duplicate content, but in reality, when it's on 2 different channels like that, it's really not duplicate content. And of course, you can make minor modifications if you're more comfortable, which would make them completely unique anyway. So my recommendation is, in the case of only 2 videos, you probably want to put it on a nice strong channel like that, but you might as well give them their own channel at the same time. It's gonna stroke their ego. It's gonna give you twice as much opportunity to get traffic as well. So that would be my recommendation, and hopefully that helps.
And many times you can monetize the setup of the YouTube channel.
Yep, absolutely. So that's another way to monetize it for you, because you will have to create the graphics, you will have to set it up, you'll want to do all that stuff. So there's a good opportunity to charge for that, and then as the extra value, put it into the directory as well.
Excellent. It's the radio show about video marketing madness with Ray the Video Guy, and I'm Steve Sleeper. Today's show made possible by...
Today's show is made possible by Free Video Editor. If you're looking for an editor that can allow you to do all sorts of advanced editing, such as adding graphics and text and titles and 3-point editing and all that kind of stuff, and believe it or not, screen capture, then you want to check out freevideoeditor.co. You can download that today for Mac, PC, or Linux, and it comes with a lot of great little video goodies to help get you started, as well as training. So there you go. freevideoeditor.co.
Got a question for Ray the Video Guy? We had one today, and we do one every week on the radio show. And all you need to do is go to raythevideoguy.com/ask, record your question. It's a little audio that you can do, and it's real easy to figure out. Ray guides you through it. And then if he answers it, you'll win all kinds of great video marketing stuff. You can like our Facebook page at Video Marketing Madness or follow us on Twitter at Video MKT Madness. I post all kinds of useful how-tos every day of the week. I rest on the weekends. So this is the last show for the year.
Well, I believe you are correct. So we will not be here until next year. I hadn't thought about that really until you said that.
Yeah, I know it's sneaking up on us. Yeah, Christmas Eve is next Thursday, and then New Year's Eve is 2 weeks from today. Amazing.
Amazing. So we will see you all next year. And in the meantime, I hope you have a happy and safe holiday, a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah. And on the other side, when we come back with something a little bit different by then, I would assume. Correct, Steve?
Yeah. And
things will be a little different by then.
Yeah.
Hopefully, technically, they'll be a lot different.
Yeah, they'll be a lot better. Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, you know what? Why don't we go ahead and announce it now? You think that's okay?
All right, here it is.
Ray and I have started a podcast network called Earn.show, which stands for Entrepreneur Action Radio Network. And we are going to keep doing the show on Blog Talk Radio, but it'll also be available on Earn.show. And we'll also have a number of entrepreneurs over time that will be doing podcasts as well.
Yes, and I believe our first external show, aka not this show, will be a real estate investing show.
Oh, cool.
So that looks like that will be the first one. And it'll be quite interesting because he is going to, at least for the initial run of the show, he's going to be taking me, who I know nothing about real estate investing, and he's going to turn me into a real estate investor, help me to buy my first real estate property live on the show. And we will follow that over the course of however long that takes. I'm not even sure. A year, half a year, who knows? We'll see. But I'm going to go from knowing absolutely nothing all the way through to making money using real estate investing. And it should be a lot of fun. It'll be a great first show. And hopefully we'll be getting a lot more shows in there as well. I'm working on another show as we speak. So,
and I'll be getting a bunch of shows in there once we figure out what we're doing.
It's an exciting and scary time. And if it go as technically well as this one went today, we might be in a lot of trouble. But we should have it figured out by then. So,
well, you know what? It is what it is. No matter where you go, there you are. So now let's see if I can wrap this thing up with the jingle. Come on, work. It doesn't want to work. I don't know what to do. We got to ask Ray to work. I tell you what, let's keep trying. There we go. Here it is.
Even if it's a little fast, it's filled with video expertise. And has so much knowledge that you need. YouTube ninja tricks to make your marketing so sick. It's Ray the Video Guy, yeah, Ray the Video Guy.
anybody on the... Oh, we can't hear you. You're muted.
Using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Oh, you know what? Hold on. I need to unmute my...
let's see. Hold on. I'm going to turn on my speaker so I can hear you.
Thingy here. So default speakers. There we go. Now I can hear you. All right. So we're back on the
Hangout. The Hangout's still going.
Yes.
Okay. So let's go ahead and end the Hangout. And
on the Hangout, by the way,
on the Hangout, thanks for watching.
Probably